Aisha has a package arrive every couple of weeks. She always makes sure she's home alone when it does. Box straight to the closet, packaging in the outside trash bin, not the kitchen one. Her husband has no idea it's happening. It's not an affair, it's a $40 candle. There's a name for this: financial infidelity, hiding spending, debt, or income from a partner. First thing worth knowing, for most people, this isn't cheating in the way that word makes it sound, and it isn't really about the money either. It's shockingly common. Recent surveys put it at somewhere around 2 in 5 people in serious relationships admitting to keeping some kind of financial secret. And for people under 30, it's closer to 3 in 5. If this sounds familiar, you're not in some rare, uniquely dishonest minority. You're most of the room. What's actually happening almost never starts with, "I want to deceive my partner." It starts with something much smaller: not wanting to have one specific conversation. Here's the actual mechanism. For Aisha, it's not that she thinks $40 candles are some secret worth protecting. It's that the first time her husband raised an eyebrow at one, it turned into a 20-minute conversation about their budget that neither of them enjoyed. Hiding the next candle wasn't a calculated decision. It was the path of least resistance in the moment, a genuinely tiny purchase versus a conversation that always seemed to spiral bigger than the purchase itself. That's the pattern researchers see over and over. It's rarely about the dollar amount. Close to half of couples say they don't know everything about their partner's finances, and the behavior itself is usually small and repeated. An order unboxed before a partner gets home, a receipt that must have gotten lost, a bit of side income that quietly never makes it into the joint account. None of it usually starts as betrayal. It starts as avoidance. And avoidance is a much easier habit to fall into than one big lie would ever be. There's a generational layer to this too, and it's a big one. Younger couples hide financial secrets at meaningfully higher rates than older ones, and social media gets named as a real factor in a lot of it. Watching someone else's highlight reel spending doesn't just create pressure to keep up. It can quietly convince someone that their own small purchase needs its own alibi. One thing worth clearing up: this isn't a gendered pattern the way people sometimes assume. Research comparing men and women directly finds they're equally likely to hide debt, hide purchases, or keep a separate account their partner doesn't know about. This isn't about who's naturally more secretive. It's about who's more afraid of one specific conversation. And that fear doesn't care about gender. It shows up in more forms than a hidden delivery, too. A credit card statement that conveniently never makes it to the mail pile. A bonus that gets parked in a separate account before it ever reaches a joint one. Side income from a small gig that quietly stays off the books entirely. Different specific behavior, same underlying instinct. Keep this one thing off the radar so it never has to become a conversation. Here's why this costs more than the actual dollars involved. Financial secrecy doesn't stay contained to money. Trust, once it's the thing being carefully managed around, tends to leak into everything else. The data backs up just how seriously people actually take this. A large share of Americans now say keeping financial secrets from a partner is at least as damaging as a physical affair. Not kind of bad, but less bad, in the same category in their own ranking. For Aisha, the real cost was never the candles. It was the small, constant background labor of managing what her husband did and didn't see. Timing deliveries, remembering which trash can, quietly reworking the truth in casual conversation. That's not free. It's a tax paid in attention and low-grade anxiety every single week, whether or not it's ever discovered. It's also worth knowing this isn't happening in a vacuum. Most households are already running with less cushion than people assume. Recent federal data found only around 6 in 10 adults could cover an unexpected $400 expense in cash. Add a hidden debt or a secret spending pattern on top of financial footing that's already thinner than it looks from the outside, and the stakes of staying quiet get real fast, even when it started with something as small as a candle. The fix isn't just tell the truth as a one-time confession. That treats this like a single event instead of the ongoing pattern it actually is. What works is changing what the conversation is even about. Most financial secrecy spirals start because the first conversation about money became a referendum on someone's character, instead of just a discussion about a number. So the actual fix starts before the secret does. Agree in advance on a specific small amount either person can spend without it needing a conversation at all. Genuinely no questions asked on either side. That one boundary does more work than any amount of after-the-fact honesty because it removes the exact situation that made hiding feel easier than talking in the first place. Aisha's version of this now. She and her husband settled on $75 a month each. No explanation required, no receipts. The candles still show up. He already knows about them. Here's what it looked like for another couple who caught this even earlier. Kwame and his partner noticed the pattern starting. A few unexplained charges, a bit of defensiveness whenever the credit card statement came up, and instead of waiting for a bigger secret to eventually surface, they had the no questions asked conversation while the stakes were still genuinely small. Neither of them remembers it as some big dramatic talk. It took about 10 minutes, and it made the next 2 years of money conversations noticeably easier, specifically because neither of them had anything left to manage around. Financial infidelity almost never starts as betrayal. It starts as someone trying to avoid one uncomfortable conversation, and then doing it again because avoiding it worked the first time. The couples who actually fix this aren't the ones with perfect honesty about every single dollar. They're the ones who made honesty easier than hiding, on purpose, before hiding became the habit. If this is the kind of thing you want more of, the actual psychology behind the money decisions smart people still get wrong, even the ones that have nothing to do with being bad with money, that's exactly what this channel is. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.